this to be the hardest place to play in the nation. And I truly believe that we have an opportunity to make it that if we give the city a product to be proud of, because I'm telling you, man, they will flood this place like crazy because we are the NFL team.
Welcome into the #1 Group of 5 football podcast in all of the world. This is the Group of 5 guys. Our mission is to be the voice for the Group of 5 football programs that the mainstream sports media absolutely will not do. We need everybody's help to do that. We need you to follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of 5 guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, leave a review, click the like button. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode of Inside Drill, another new coach, second youngest coach in the entire country, UTEP head coach Scotty Walden joins us for an awesome conversation. We talk a little bit about family and talk about what an awesome city El Paso is. Hope you enjoy the show. As we continue on interviewing so many new coaches, new coordinators, new head coaches all over the country, this is a guy that second youngest head coach in the country right now, fresh off having a new baby. Yep. Coach Scotty Walden, UTEP head coach. Coach, thanks for taking time away from, being in a new place, new kid, all that, to hang out with the Group of 5 guys.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on the Group of 5 guys, man. I've been seeing you guys moving and shaking on Twitter, and I see some big-time coaches on the show, and I'm like, man, I just hope I can be a part of that one time. And I was really thankful you guys reached out, man. So, no, it's an honor to be on, and it certainly has been a whirlwind these past 3 months of my life and my family's life. But Callie, my wife, and I, we're blessed beyond measure, man. Like it's always been a dream of mine and a goal of mine to be an FBS head football coach, and especially in my home state, in the state of Texas. And when this opportunity came up, unbelievable. And it just so happens, my wife, when we took the job, was about 36, 37 weeks pregnant. And, we got to give birth to our baby boy Maverick about 3 weeks ago. So we're very blessed, man. A lot going on. You can see the boxes behind me. I apologize. This is our new home. We just closed on our house. I wish I could have got everything unpacked for you, but this is actually all football stuff behind me. My wife has been generous enough to let me store things from even my Soul Ross days every single year and continue to house them. She hasn't made me get rid of them just yet, but I think we're getting close to that threshold.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, you got a newborn, new baby boy, and then you have an older boy. So 2 boys. Yeah. All 3 of us on here, all boys. We're very fortunate. But talk about that. Talk about, obviously being a head football coach, especially today, like your wife's got to be all-time great, supportive, and then especially with little ones. So just talk about your family a little bit, what that means to you.
Yeah, she's really the one that needs to be doing these interviews. She's the MVP, man. She's the no doubt. Callie and I, we've been together since high school, and they're in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm originally from Fort Worth, and so is my wife. We went to a school called Cleburne High School, and I met her in algebra class, man, my junior year, and she stuck with me ever since. And I'm blessed beyond measure because I got no earthly idea why she would stick with somebody like me for so long, putting up with me every day. But no, she's salt of the earth, man. Like she is the one waking up in the middle of the night with our newborn, just doing all the things. And she gets it, right? Like she understands, my job and all the, the stresses, the busy schedule, the time away from home. It's like, and it's so hard, man. Like when you transition, we did it at Southern Miss too, man. Like, I transitioned her to Southern Miss, and I got on the road, and I was gone for a month, and I was like, hey, welcome to Hattiesburg. See, I'll be back. Same thing here. I was like, hey, welcome to El Paso. Here's our house, babe. All right, need anything, let me know. And I got to get on the road, and it's hard. And obviously it's not that, I'm making it sound worse than it is, but it is hard when you, get to a new place and you got to uproot your family. And, it's obviously for a blessing. It's for the right reason. It's awesome, opportunity. And she understands that. And, but she's been an absolute trooper, man, holding down the fort as we try to build this program at UTEP. But I always say, man, like when I am home, when this job allows me to be home, I do my best. Like today, like on Tuesday, Thursday, try to get home as soon as I can and be dad number one, and put my best foot forward as a father. And when I walk in the door, because there's nothing better, as you guys know, man, you got boys like you walk in that door and they come sprinting that door. That's no matter what happened that day, that's the highlight of my day, man. Like nothing will change.
Now, Coach, was that something? You guys are both Texas natives, so is that something as you're kind of coming up in the coaching ranks, in the back of your mind, you want to get back home a little bit, and is that part of the reason you wanted to take this UTEP job?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, like I'm Texas through and through, man. I was born and raised, and absolutely love the state. Love living in the state of Texas. Obviously our family's here. On top of that, just I think it's one of the top states in America to play high school football and to coach football. Just the seriousness of football here matches how serious I am about it, and the love for the game, right? And so that was always, when I started coaching, a goal to be an FBS head coach or a Power Five head coach in the state of Texas. And so that definitely attracted me to the UTEP job. And then once, obviously learning the ins and outs of UTEP and El Paso, how, we were kind of talking before how awesome the city is. It was a no brainer for sure. But, my wife and I, we've embraced the coaching life. Certainly she has. Like, we really have enjoyed like getting to move to other states and get to see like how other states operate, what it's like to live, living in Tennessee, up there kind of where you guys are familiar with up there in Clarksville when, we were at Austin P. We loved our time in Tennessee. We loved our time in Mississippi, Hattiesburg, there at Southern Miss is an awesome place. But there's no place like Texas. So that's obviously because it's home for us. So yeah, that was a big part of it too.
Coach, you mentioned, being at Austin P up in Clarksville. I noticed in the transfer portal you had quite a few guys, 11, maybe a few more by now, followed you to UTEP. Kind of reminds me of, G.J. Kinney going to Texas State, coming from an Incarnate Word, bringing all those guys with him, or they followed him anyways. Talk about, does that help you build a culture because you got a lot of guys that played for you up there?
Yeah, I mean, I actually said this to somebody the other day. Actually, it was my wife. Actually, we were talking, and I told her, I was like, the best thing that we did was go after those Austin P guys when they got in the portal because, when you have a coaching change, kids leave, and and I'll be transparent, when those guys get in the portal, like I think some people just think, it's an automatic shoe in. Oh, they're going with their coach. Like, crap, man. Like, we had to fight. We had to recruit our guys twice, man. Like, we had to fight. Like, and we lost some battles. We had a defensive end that was a walk on for us his freshman year. We put him on scholarship, balled out last year. He's at Kansas State right now. Like we had no chance. We couldn't even, I mean, I was like, hey man, don't forget about little guy over here. We recruited you, like it was like he forgot about us, man. And not I'm being facetious. Like he was really good, but like he's playing Power Five. We have a corner that we brought from Division II out of the portal, and he got in the portal. Man, TCU, man, he's playing at TCU right now. Like the kids that we signed here, God, they had offers from North Texas, from Tulsa, from UConn. I mean, you name it. I mean, they had G5 everywhere. So, I mean, we had to fight. But yes, to answer your question, 1000%. That has been the best decision I think we've made roster wise when those guys got in, because what's happening now is it sets the foundation. Your culture is running itself without me being around. Whereas I think, our first phase where we're on the road recruiting in January and up to signing day, those guys are lifting in the weight room. Yes, they're around your coaches, but they're not necessarily around players that have been through your shop. And we got 11, 12 guys that have been through our shop that are like, hey, man, I'm just telling you, old dude's wired like this. He's gonna get on you for that. I'm just telling, they just lay they lay the law down, man. And it's been cool. Our guys have come in and they have immersed. I think they've done a great job of collaborating. Right? They haven't just come in and tried to just be the top dog, be like, oh man, look, I know how it is. They've done a great job of bringing like the guys that were on the roster with them. Hey, look, man, like we got to get on board. This is how phase 1 goes, how phase 2 goes, phase 3 goes. This is what you need to expect. Coach is going to be about this. And man, they've gotten in front of the team and talk to the team. It's accelerated the player driven goal that we have in our program, which that is ultimately what we're about is building a player driven program. Because when it's player driven, as you guys know as former players, like that's when it goes to a new level. When it's coach driven by me, we're just going to be average every year, and so it has accelerated that timeline because these guys can come in and regurgitate that culture and come in and lead the charge of what we expect, and that is I can't tell you. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. It's been awesome.
Coach, it seems like UTEP and a couple of the other Texas schools are sort of seems like they're following the same blueprint of a Texas guy. I'm sure you have a ton of Texas high school connections. You talked about it earlier. What does that mean, the relationship with the Texas high schools as far as recruiting and going forward as you build UTEP?
Yeah, it means everything, man. We're a little different. And we said this, we had the same formula at Austin P. Like I'm old school in the sense of like I'm high school first, man. Like I think you build your culture with great players from winning programs from your home state and your home region. That's when we took the job at Austin P, everybody was like, you're going to have to branch out. You can't just recruit Tennessee kids because there's not enough talent. And we were like, crap, there's a lot of talent in this state, man. There's like enough kids in Nashville to help us, Chattanooga and out to Knoxville. We found some gyms in East Tennessee. Like, and yes, did we have to go to Georgia and did we go to Bama? Yeah, absolutely. But like, it's just because they were so close. But Tennessee had a lot of great home talent that we couldn't believe that we were getting at Austin P. Where we were signing 3-star guys like normal at Austin P, and they're sitting right there in the backyard in our home state. I just believe no matter what, man, if I was the head coach at Maine, it don't matter. You have got to own your region and your state in recruiting, because kids that grow up in that state dream of playing at your school. Kids in the state of Texas, yes, I know there is a ton of schools in the state of Texas, and they probably do grow up thinking about playing at A&M or UT or Texas Tech. But I was a Texas kid. I grew up in this state, and I was a football junkie. I knew every school in the state of Texas, and my dream was to play Division I college football in the state of Texas, whether that was North Texas, Texas State, UTEP. Like, I wanted to play ball in my home state. Turns out I was a 5'9" quarterback, and I couldn't see real well, so I played some Division III. Oh, that's okay. I'm good. But at the end of the day, I want people will have pride in being a UTEP minor, when they are from the state of Texas and from this region. Like we started in El Paso first. And again, it's the same story, right? Oh, El Paso doesn't have, great talent. You're going to have to go outside. Well, I mean, we just signed, a stud. We signed 2 stud players. We were here a month, and like 2 stud football players that are 3-star guys right here that are sitting right here just waiting for UTEP to take them. And I'm like, you kidding me? Let's go. Like, what are we waiting on? So we're going to find the best talent in El Paso and then branch out from there and own the state of Texas in recruiting. That's our goal. I mean, we are going to be Texas driven. I think in the past, not saying right or wrong, but just our beliefs a little different. Like, I think in the past people view, El Paso as like what, yes, it is way west. Yes, it is. I know where it's located, but people view it more like let's go out to California or let's go to Arizona, New Mexico. And yes, are we going to look at those places? Like, we signed a stud, the number 1 player in New Mexico this year, because, he's right there. He was a great player. But we're going to, this is the University of Texas at El Paso, and we're going to be Texas driven. So we're going to get kids and go after kids from Houston, DFW, even East Texas. Like, and our recruiting class is proof of that. Like, we signed a predominantly Texas class, and it was the number 1 class in Conference USA, the best class in UTEP history. And it was Texas high school football players, essentially, and we'll use the portal. We'll use junior college to supplement our needs, but I just think you build a culture and a foundation with high school football players from winning programs, especially from the state of Texas.
Well, your time at Austin P, you definitely had one of the top offenses, in FCS. Would love to know your offensive philosophy, since, being a former quarterback and all, it's got to be your favorite side of the ball, I would assume. What's the offense going to look like down in El Paso?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tempo-based spread system, man, where, we're going to use every blade of grass and get the ball to playmakers in space, man, and utilize our personnel. The thing I love about our offense is, we utilize our personnel, I think, better than most, because, we're very positionless at receiver. Like, I'm not big on this guy's a slot. Like that's all he is because he's 5'9" and whatever. Like I've started 5'9" guys on the edge because they can run, man. Like we're gonna put speed on the field. We're gonna be a downhill vertical run offense combined with a downfield vertical pass offense, and we're gonna snap the ball every 12 seconds and fly. And so we installed the whole offense in 3 days. We're in the middle of that process right now. In a calendar year, our kids will get offensively and defensively. It's a program philosophy. We will get the offense and defense and we fence, which is special teams for us, installed 4 times a year. So they'll get that installed 4 different times, and we're in the middle of the first time doing it. We do it once right here in what we call our boot camp phase. We do it again in spring ball. We do it in the summer, and then we do it in fall camp. And then obviously we have the season. So 4 times through a calendar year, we get this thing installed. But it is a very quarterback dependent offense. We put a lot on the quarterback. We do not want the receivers, offensive linemen overthinking stuff. We want these guys playing fast. We don't want guys over analyzing things. So we've been running the system for about 11 years now. 12 years now. I was the OC at Sol Ross, my first job, and we've been a tempo-based outfit for a long time. But I think the difference with us is we're going to run the football, and I think you got to run the football to win championships. The thing I love about our system the most is, other than the personnel aspect, is it can beat you in different ways. We've won championships in literally torrential downpours. We've won championships when the weather's good, when it's cold, when it's high. We're not going to be a team that just drop back passes 60, 70 times is predicated on that. We take what the defense gives us, and we're very balanced in what we do. But we're going to create matchups, matchup issues with the defense by the way we align, by the way we use our personnel, and we can win with a tight end. We can win without a tight end, with 2 tight ends. It's a very diverse system, but to me, it's the funnest system in America to play in, man. Receivers get to cut loose. They got a lot of option routes, choice routes. Our quarterback gets to cut loose. We give him a ton of freedom. I mean, like literally, there's times, I know some play callers, when they call plays, they love to know where the ball's going. I'll be honest, like when I call plays, I give that joker 4 or 5 options, man, and I'm not really sure every time where the ball's going. And I know it sounds like, I'm like, well,
no, I love it. That's how it should be.
But I'm not behind center. That guy is.
Exactly.
I should train that guy in such a way that he knows. I'll tell you this. Like when we get it going the right way, when I'm on the same page with my guy, like when I call a play, in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking ball should go to the Z here. The ball should go to the X. Ball should be run here. And typically he does that, and we're on the same wavelength if I trained him the right way. So, but that guy's got ultimate freedom, man. He's the quarterback. He's the face of the program, and we put it in his hands. Let him go.
Well, Coach, I know you haven't had a ton of time to really see the guys yet. But tell us about a couple guys we need to be watching out for, through spring, and then once we get into fall. On both sides of the ball, too. On defense, we got a chance to meet Tyrese Knight from a year ago down at the Senior Bowl, who had a hell of a week down there, by the way.
Yes.
But tell us who's upcoming, who's the NFL guys, or who should we be looking out for?
Yeah, man, I've been really overall, just general statement first. I've been really impressed with the team that we have. I mean, they have bought in. They are full go, and it goes back. I always have a saying, and we always talk about this as a staff. Kids will never tell you this, but kids always want discipline and structure. And I've been super impressed with because our culture and our program is a level of detail and accountability. I mean, to the nth degree. And these kids have fully bought into that. And I mean, I've been shocked at I would think just how, you get a new coaching staff and these new things. It's like, man, no, I'm not going to do that. Or, I mean, they have fully immersed themselves in the culture, and that has been really, really fun to watch. They work their tails off, man. They're putting in a ton of work, a ton of player driven stuff. It's been really, really fun to watch. The guys, again, we haven't been to a practice yet. Obviously, I can speak to the guys that that obviously I've coached in the past and been with, but also the guys that I've watched on tape and I've watched move around that they're doing a great job. Mo Westmoreland is an outside linebacker for us / defensive end / this guy is he and Tyrese were deadly together, and now he kind of takes over the sole focus, but he's an elite pass rusher. I've been super impressed with his maturity level, his motor. He's been really impressive. Also on the defensive side, there's a young man named AJ Odoms from Spring Westfield High School in Houston, a corner. who is just a dog, man. Like this guy, like he might be a little undersized, but he fears nothing. He goes all in, busts his tail. I've been super impressed with his ability thus far and done a great job. And kind of touch on, we've on defense, man. Like we have said this multiple times. My strength coach, Chris Campbell, I think is the best in the country, man. He's unbelievable. These guys, he is, and he's not quick to pass compliments out. And he's been like, Coach, this has been the most impressive specialist group we've had, like weight room wise. Like these dudes love lifting weights, which is crazy. Like they love the mat drills, like they're in it. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you guys, man? You guys are supposed to be kicking, snapping, punting, right? But we got a deep snapper, man, who's a dog, man. This dude is, we call him Jello, man. This dude has been unbelievable. Angelo Tejada, he's been getting after it. Buzz Flaviano, our kicker, has been great. We recruited a young man named Adam Jacklin from North Texas. He's a punter. Man, these guys I was just impressed with that group, man. I know it's like, why is he talking about specialists? Like, number one, specialists are people too.
Absolutely.
Right? You guys are football guys.
They're gonna win some games for you.
They will win games for you, bro, no doubt. So, but I've been super impressed with that group. And then offensively, some guys that stick out to me, Cade McConnell, the quarterback that took over there, late in the year. His leadership is unbelievable. I've really been impressed with Cade and the leadership and his football IQ. Us installing the offense for the first time. Him being able to regurgitate the verbiage and the progressions and stuff in meetings has been really, really, really cool to see. Been super impressed, with him. And then there's an old lineman, man, named Otis Pitts, who is a straight dog. Like this guy's changed his body already. He was not like, he wasn't overly fat to begin with, but man, like he is taking he's a 310 pound kid, about 6'5", has taken his frame and it's just pure muscle, man. The guy walks around and like, and I think it's attributed to the weight room, but also his work ethic and buy-in. We're doing some things that kind of hadn't been done here before. We hired a full-time nutritionist that works with our guys, literally puts them on a diet plan, got shakes ready for them. We're able to, see as well, like the days we're not doing like training table, we give these guys like a debit card. They go buy certain locations. We can see what these dudes are purchasing. So like if big boys are going to McDonald's one too many times, we can shut down the card, bro. Card decline, dog. They don't like that. We like it though, man. But my man Otis has been crushing it. Protein and it's impressive. And in phase one for us, we divide our calendar into 5 phases. And in phase one is just like we do not let our team run. Like we don't let them run at all. Like we just straight eat. It's like we go into hibernation mode in the cold, and we just freaking go in the cave and we eat the weight room, pound the weights, and we don't take them outside one time and run them at all. And phase 2 right now is where we do that boot camp. That's really where we drive our culture. We compete on the field. We do mat drills, those type of things. That we're in the middle of that process right now. But Otis has crushed both phases. So I mean, those guys have done really well. And in addition to, I've been impressed with guys like Cam Thomas, Corey Chapman, Xavier Smith is a really good safety that transferred from Austin P here. Cam Thomas is an electric returner. Corey Chapman, a stud safety as well. I think those guys have come in. Javon Jackson's a running back, rushed for 1,300 yards for us. He's an absolute stud, was an All-American running back at the FCS level, has come in, and he's working really hard. And Isaiah Wright and Brendan Smith are 2 guys that came in as well, doing a great job. So, we're really, really excited about our team.
All I know is a name like Otis Pitts sounds like an NFL offensive lineman. Nothing else. It just sounds like a country strong, blue collar kind of guy.
He's that guy. He lived up to the name, bro, for sure. For sure.
Well, Coach, I got an opportunity to get down to El Paso 2 years ago, and Sun Bowl might be one of my favorite stadiums I've ever been to the entire country. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. The backdrop, the landscape is just immaculate. What's it going to take from the community? What's the plan to get the community bought in and get that Sun Bowl packed come fall?
Well, I tell you this, man, you're spot on. It's the best stadium in the country, man. It is unlike, it's like, I use the word iconic. Like when every recruit, when I was told when I took this job, like, you're not going to be able to get recruits out there and get them on visits. And man, we had unbelievable unbelievable official visits and unbelievable unofficial visits. We had 200 kids come up on our junior day already. Wow. Like, man, when you get the word out, man, and you use social media to bring, because we're in El Paso, right? We got to bring the message to them and these kids want to come out here. But I tell you this, man, like to your point, when they come out, when we get them here and they, number one, see the city of El Paso. I had one kid tell me on a visit, he was like, Coach, I'll be honest, like, I didn't know it was like this. Like, I didn't know there was a big city like this. He's like, I thought I was going to see cowboys and horses and tumbleweed. I was like, bro, what were you Googling, man? Like Tombstone? Like, what are we doing? You know, this ain't Tombstone out here, dog. Like, you know, there's a million people out here. Like, and the coolest thing is there's a million people. And really when you include Juarez into that, that's right across the border, you're talking about this area. There's over 2 million people in this area, man. And there's no NFL team. And we're the NFL team. And the support is unbelievable. But to answer your question, number one, it starts with myself and our team. We got to get in the community and we got to go serve and we got to go get in front of people. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people I've already met with from a donor standpoint, alumni standpoint. We're trying to get our alumni back. I mean, Aaron, I tell recruits all the time, hey, do you know who Aaron Jones is? I'm like, yeah, I know Aaron Jones. I'm like, well, where'd he go to college? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, he freaking went to UTEP, man.
Yeah.
Every time he scores out 9-1-5, baby. Like, and they're like, no way, coach. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like there's real players that have been out here, man. So we're trying to get those guys back involved, you know, around our culture, around our program. And that's, and we're trying to get out in the community. Like today we served we served food at a food shelter here in downtown El Paso. Like our kids are wearing their jerseys, getting out in the community and serving. In order for those people to buy in and come back to the Sun Bowl, we got to go serve them first. And we got to show them that we're trying to give them a product to be proud of, but you know, on and off the field. But I'll say this, man, one thing that was in the interview process, super just enticing and stuck out to me was when Jim Center, our AD, when he, in the interview process, showed me a stat. You know, UTEP won 3 games last year, you know, had a rough year, right? Regardless of that, this place still averaged 20,000 fans a game. And there's been 10 plus seasons in UTEP history where this place has averaged over 40,000 fans a game. There's a mural when you walk into our complex, you know, of when we broke the school record in the early 2000s, maybe 2005, 2006, with 56,000 people packed in the Sun Bowl. And literally people are sitting on the mountain watching the game. Literally,
That's
there's,
awesome.
I mean, our Sun Bowl, as you've seen it, man,
Yeah.
it's dug into those mountains. Bro, there's people on the mountains watching the game. And like, we tell our players all the time, that's what we want to get it back to. We want to get people, we want this to be the hardest place to play in the nation. And I truly believe that we have an opportunity to make it that if we give the city a product to be proud of, because I'm telling you, man, they will flood this place like crazy because we are the NFL team. We are the main attraction. And there's diehard UTEP fans. And you probably saw this when you came to El Paso, man, like some of the best people in the world, like just genuine, good people that are, man, I can't tell you when I took this job, like, welcome to El Paso, man. How many people told me that? We go to eat at restaurants with the recruits and stuff in town, like when we take them on OVs, like we've literally, every time we've been out to eat, people stop us, want to take pictures with us, want to sign autographs. I'm like, this is like, you feel like a superstar, man. And like, we're you know, it is, they want this place to succeed. And so I envision us building a program that people are so proud of, that we get 40 to 50,000 people back in the Sun Bowl, man. Because when it's rocking, when it echoes off those mountains, bro, like it is a different vibe. It is a different vibe. And I cannot wait to see our first home game and see it packed out. And we're going to do everything in our power to keep it that way and give these fans something to be proud of.
I got chills right now, Coach. I can feel I can feel your energy through the screen here. Do you think being, we mentioned you're the second youngest head coach in the country. Do you think being a young guy, having a young family, you think that helps you, number one, with recruiting, but then number two, like what you're talking about, when you're out in the community, it's does it make you more relatable, I guess, or just people want to get behind your message?
I think, the compliment I've gotten so much is about our staff's energy, not just mine, but my coaching staff. I was very fortunate. We talked about players out of the port. I was very fortunate to bring my entire staff, with me from Austin P, which those guys are the best coaching staff in the country. It's no brainer to bring them out here because they're elite recruiters. They're elite people. And they bring phenomenal energy to our kids. And that's been the number one compliment is, we are a young staff. We just hired a new offensive line. My O-line coach got hired by Washington State, and we just hired a new O-line coach from Tulsa, Ryan Stanchek, who's unbelievable. And the question my AD had was, does he meet the under 40 requirement you have? I was like, I don't intend it that way. But that's the way it fell. But our staff's energy is unmatched, man. Like they love kids. They're passionate about what they do. It's not fake. It's genuine. I think a lot of people when they first meet me or they come out on a visit, they're like, all right, is this real? And one thing that we do to try to show that, like, number one, we are who we are. We say, like, this place ain't for everybody. We don't put on a recruiting facade. When we do official visits, we literally have a section of that OV where we do something called a player panel, where we put the parents of the visitors, the recruit, in a room, and we put five to six, seven, sometimes depending on the group, sometimes 10 guys of our players in that room, and then there's no coach in that room, and we tell the parents, ask them whatever you want to ask them. Don't care, good, bad, ugly, whatever. Like, and they give it to them. I tell the players, like, give it to them straight, like, because I don't want there to be any gray area or, man, I this ain't what I thought it was, because then we got problems from the get-go. And I think that's why, our culture is the way it is, because kids know what they're getting into. They know that we're going to bring this energy every day. They know the accountability, discipline. And so being young and relatable to those guys, it does help for sure. I mean, it does help, being able to, think about, just, I say it just, 12, 13 years ago, I was in there. It's getting further and further every second.
Yes.
I'm still learning things in the lingo, but at the end of the day, like, we're not too far removed from these cats, and the relatability does help. But I also say this too, and this is, again, we got to win games, and we got to show that it was the right decision to bring our staff here. But I think that credit to our AD Gym Center and our athletic department for maybe hiring a little different, because there's never really been a young coach out here at UTEP, and doesn't mean that old is bad. I mean, there's great old coaches to go, Nick Saban. I mean, we go down the list, man. Age is just a number. But I think that, like, when you have a program that has been struggling, you got to do something different. And I think that we're so different that I think it's kind of been a welcome excitement, like people are excited about the I mean, there are people blowing me up just to come to spring practice, come to a spring game, see what it looks like. And so I think that relatability and just the difference in maybe what's been done here in the past is exciting to people. Now we gotta bring it home. We got to do our job and win games and give people a reason to be UTEP Minor fans. But I think that's created excitement and buzz for sure.
I'm fired up. I mean, just sitting here listening to it all. I'm all in. I'm all in on the Miners, Sprouse.
Hey, bro, look, you two guys are former ball players in Conference USA. If y'all got any eligibility left, we got Marshall.
I think everybody's got 7 or 8 years now, so I think we might.
That is very true. There's got to be a couple.
Be able to.
We'll get a waiver approved. We'll just put a waiver in. We'll get a waiver approved.
Yeah, I might be better now than I ever was when I was eligible.
More wise, for sure.
Wise, a little bit. Dad strength, a little bit, kind of.
That's a thing, man. Hey, holding that little one, like, man, that gets,
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? When you're holding that that's a different type of, man, that's a different type of strain, bro.
100%.
It really is. I wonder how my wife does it all the time. I'm like, I get my wife in the garage. I'm like, you can't even like curl the barbell. And meanwhile, you're like tossing this 40-pound kid around. I'm like, don't tell me that's too heavy.
I did the same thing. We work out. She had like 5-pound dumbbells. Man, she literally holds our son up for 15 hours a day. I'm like, how does that?
That mom and dad strength it's something different. But
it's real, bro.
Coach, I got to know this. So when my time in El Paso, a couple nights, I had one of the best steaks I've ever had in my entire life. Have you been to 1700? I think it's 1700 degrees steakhouse in the bottom of that hotel in El Paso.
I had like a 90-day dry aged ribeye, and they have this special broiler. It's the most phenomenal steak I've ever had in my entire life. Whoa, man! Tell me that, man. I'm about to write this down. Hold on.
It's called 1700 degrees, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
1700 degrees.
You know that old hotel that's downtown?
The Plaza.
Yeah,
the Plaza.
It's in the Plaza.
I can't believe I'm fired up, but I'm also upset that no one has told me this.
Great steak. You and the wife have a date night, and the baby gets a little bit older. Go take her down there.
Yeah, bro, no doubt. I mean, I'll tell you this: the Mexican restaurants, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I want to try. There are so many hole in the walls. I mean, I'm trying to try them all. I mean, it's bad, man. Like our staff, we've all gained like 10, 15 pounds. It's terrible. Like it's awful, man. Like El Paso's got some of the best food. Like you're gonna
It's
find.
for real.
I mean, it's real deal, man.
Sprouse, we all gotta get out there. I was the only one that was able to go 2 years ago, but we gotta get down there.
Bro, we gotta have you guys out. We'll get you tickets to a game, whatever you want. You want to come to spring practice? Come on, man. Let's go. We'd love to have you, man. Seriously.
Look, if I can definitely fall for some peer pressure when it comes to stuff like this. So you just slide in somebody's email or DMs, and we'll end up out there. We'll be like, damn it. We're like, damn it. Why are we in El Paso?
and hopefully Coach Stock doesn't get mad, but we'll gear you up, man. We'll let you have some UTEP workout gear, you know. I think I saw my man had to pick. You got to pick it. Come on, bro.
I got you. I got you.
Let's go. Picks up, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
My boy Cesar Cubillos. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name correctly, but
the cheer coach, right?
He's the cheer coach over there. He hooked me up.
Let's go. Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
I reached out on the X, and I was like, anybody in El Paso? And then he reached out and he calls into the show. He's awesome.
Yeah,
bro, I love it, man. I love it. I saw that shirt. I was like, hold on, my man's got it on. I love it.
I got you.
Look where that came from. You guys come out. I promise you, we'll gear you up, man. We'd love to have you.
Well, Coach, we can't thank you enough. We know you got a young family, so we'll let you get back to it. We're rooting for you for sure, and I mean it's anybody's game in all of college football right now, but honestly, especially Conference USA. So we're rooting for you. Thank you so much. Well wishes. Congratulations on the new baby, and congratulations on the new job and everything. But thank you so much, Coach. Yeah, hey, truly appreciate y'all's time, man. Thanks so much and for having me on, and wish the best to you and your families, and look forward to keeping in touch in the future. Thanks for what you guys do. I love the podcast. Love what you guys are doing. Keep it up, and thank you so much for having me on and allowing me to represent UTEP. Picks up. See you in El Paso. Yes, sir. We'll see you soon. All right, Jeff. Medium rare ribeye steak down at 1,700 degrees. Let's book reservations. Let's do it. I mean, I'll go back in a heartbeat. I'm not kidding you, Sprouse. It was like the perfect char on the outside. So this broiler it's literally 1,700 degrees. It's so hot. It like makes the outside like crispy sear, huh? And crunchy, but the inside is perfectly pink how you like it. I mean, it was like a 90 age. I was like, how many times am I going to come back to El Paso? I was like, I want that 90 age. They have different stages or whatever, the ribeyes. I was like, give me the 90 day. Book it. I'm looking it up. Absolutely I'm looking phenomenal. It up on the Google right now. In the Google sphere. 1,700 degrees steakhouse. Telling you. Hi. Did you pay for that meal? No. Sure didn't. Pal, it's got like the, how on Google it's got like the Yelp dollar signs for how many? It's like 6. Yeah, it says $100 plus per plate. Well, here's the deal. So I was going to, but the gentleman we had dinner with he was awesome. Somebody important. And took care of us. But it was, I was paying it for either way, so I was ordering that thing. Hotel Paso del Norte. Signature restaurant, 1,700 degrees steakhouse. Aged. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that, Jeff. But you got me fired up. Dude, first of all, thank you to Coach. That might be the first head coach we've had on that had no problems with the technology. That was big time. I mean, I think that speaks to the age gap between most of the coaches we've had. But, dude, I mean, I kind of mentioned it a little bit, but it seems like that's the recipe, right? Is like not like relatively local guy, relationships with the high schools, but just for him, dude, the energy that guy has. I mean, and I always think it's cool. Maybe it's just because it relates to me, but like it's very relatable. He's young enough to relate to the players, but he's got a wife and a family and kids to relate, to a decade older. So I think it's kind of the perfect mix to bring in. Well, what I love too is like he's committed still to the high school. Like some guys just want to go all portal, right? But I think he's got something there about building the program through the high school ranks to really build your foundation, especially in your region. Like you got to control your region, and I think that's lost in this day and age with NIL and the portal. So it's like super cool to hear that type of perspective. But yeah, I mean, his energy's infectious. It sounds like
They're doing everything they need to be doing down there in El Paso, and I mean, trust me, I'm not kidding you when I say the Sun Bowl is an amazing place to watch a game. We got to get back down there.
Well, that's west. I mean, I know that's way West Texas, but West Texas, if you remember Friday Night Lights and, Odessa Permian and Midland Lee and all those, I mean, I imagine those places are still pushing out talent.
Yeah, I'm sure Booby Miles is running around somewhere.
Sure. He probably is. But, yeah, dude. And we've seen, I mean, you said it. Mike from College Football Campus Tour says it. A lot of people say it's the best stadium in the country. So, just imagine 50,000 in there every week, especially in Conference USA. Like, it would easily be the toughest place to play in the conference, probably the toughest place to play in the Group of Five. I mean, it would be comparable to, when Memphis is packed.
Yeah.
Kind of a bigger stadium.
Just the travel too to get there.
Mm-hmm.
For teams like that's yeah, I agree with you.
And so they really, because in the conference, I mean, you got most of the teams are on Eastern time zone or Central at best, and then they're way the hell over there. So you play a noon game or something like that, or a later game. I guess the later game would be, you play a primetime game at 8 p.m. That's 10 o'clock at night for somebody coming from the East Coast. And plus, the travel, they probably don't get in till super late Friday night, having to fly into Dallas and then hop over to El Paso. Or what'd you guys do? You drove a while.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a drive. I don't specifically remember what airport we flew into. It was a small one. It wasn't too far, I don't think, from the base that's in El Paso. But it was a long flight, and then we didn't leave until late, so we didn't get back until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, well, and they only won a couple of games last year, but if you remember preseason, on paper, they were supposed to be a lot better.
Bro.
You did, and so they had some injuries, and I don't know what they lost really to the portal, but they got some guys, from Austin Peay and some other places from the portal. So I don't think the roster is a 3-win roster. So again, Conference USA is very top heavy. So look out. I mean, you never know.
Conference USA is better than they get credit for.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is. But it's, I think, especially this past year, I mean, you had Liberty kind of by itself, and then you had a tier of Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, New Mexico State, and then everybody else. But I think UTEP, there's no reason UTEP can't be right back in the mix. But, man, we can't. He said, how old is that kid? A couple weeks old?
I think he said 3 weeks.
Yeah, so, I mean, can't thank him enough. Can't thank his wife enough, too, because I know how difficult it is getting away for, every week now for me, for us. So I'm sure that was he's definitely making a sacrifice. But it's like we got to get to El Paso. Mark another one on the calendar. It's almost like we need some type of a sponsorship, Jeff, that would fund all these trips. And then we could travel wherever. I mean, we could go all over the place. All these people want us to go. Hey, man, put up some dollars, dude. Yeah.
The time is now. We need somebody to come up. Help us make this thing.
Come up. Nice.
Make this thing coast to coast like butter and toast. We'll get everywhere.
Let's connect this thing. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. We're going to have plenty more of these throughout the off season. And then our regular, we're going to do every other week. We're going to do our regular podcast. And then in between, we'll have some type of interview, inside drill. You can check some of the ones we've already had. Had the interview with Jack from Cadix. Had the interview with Derek Mason at Middle Tennessee. Had the interview with Major Applewhite. So all those, you can go on YouTube and check for those if you're wanting to see some of the other interviews we've done so far this off season. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give us a 5-star rating and a review, leave a comment. Any clicks, any likes, positive, negative, they all help. So please do them. Tell your family and friends all about us, and follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. UTEP head coach Scotty Walden. Thank you so much.